Thanks for visiting the patient and the weather today. I'm meteorologist Al Peterlin. I'd like to talk about the weather health stresses for April 18th, 2026. We do keep additional graphics available at tpatw.com. We also have a patient weather storefront on Amazon. Amazon purchases made through our patient weather storefront support the activities of patient weather. Does look to be a rather active weather system cutting across the eastern portions of the country on Saturday, with that cold front running all the way from Buffalo to San Antonio, a warm front hanging down through Harrisburg to D.C. Lots of unsettled weather from Texas across Louisiana up through the Ohio and Tennessee Valley and moving on toward the easternmost portions of the Great Lakes. Looking at our vitality index, which is a measure of all of those individual elements that might have some activity or interest in triggering a health issue, we have a little bit going on here in the Pacific Northwest, but lots of activity going on from the edge of that frontal system and right behind it. So that'll be where the cold air is flowing in behind the cold front. Then we have a little bit of activity still lingering here in New England. Looking at pressure change, we have falling pressure moving into the Pacific Northwest. We have falling pressure across Pennsylvania and New York. Note that we have post-frontal rising pressure all the way from eastern New Mexico into eastern Colorado, but strikingly across Texas, Oklahoma, eastern Kansas, and on into Arkansas, Missouri, Iowa, up to Minnesota, up through Illinois and Wisconsin. And this is all post-frontal rising pressure. Looking at the temperature changes, and they'll be dramatic starting on Saturday, with a sharp warm-up happening again here in the west, and we can see some little bit of migraine activity here with rising temperatures, but note that we have falling dew point, falling temperatures dramatically behind that frontal thrust all the way from Texas to the Great Lakes. Looking at the change in dew point, once again reflecting the surface picture with that frontal activity across the east, but note that we have rising dew points here in California and up and through the west. And note as we jump to the vapor pressure map, we have a significant increase in moisture vapor pressure across Florida, and that will be an impact there. Looking at instability, and this is showers, thunderstorms, lightning, and lightning can have an impact, especially on migraine, and we have that instability stretching all the way from Texas, Oklahoma, up to Illinois. Looking at the change in oxygen availability, you can see that we have an asthma and arthritis risk across most of the western half of the country. We also have an asthma arthritis risk right with that front up the Appalachians from central Florida up into the western Carolinas, up into West Virginia and much of Pennsylvania. We have a risk of migraine, strong, sharp risk of migraine, just behind that front from Texas, eastern New Mexico, Oklahoma, Arkansas into western Tennessee, picking up again through Missouri, Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, Minnesota, and Wisconsin, all of that area behind that front. We also have a risk of migraine up the eastern seaboard, stretching from Delaware through New Jersey, up into Connecticut, Massachusetts, and New Hampshire, and then the coastal areas of Maine. Thanks for visiting the patient and the weather. Your comments are appreciated, and if you hurt, tell us where you're located.